Well, hello, friends. Mark Holmes here with my buddy Cowboy Joe Boo. And as always, thank you guys for watching, commenting, and subscribing to the Joe Boo Sports Report. Without you guys, this literally does not work. Let's get open for business and let's wake up the football gods. Thank you very much, Joseph Heatherly, for bringing us the football gods that we see each and every show here. Guys, girls, kids, we sit 118 days, 11 hours, 36 minutes away from kickoff of the 2019 season. It's Friday, so you know what that means. Friday night, 9 o'clock Eastern, we'll be doing our live stream and we'll be talking about the rookies. That's right, the rookies on the field. They are there at the Star today to begin 3 days of working out on the field. Wow, time is just flying by, guys. Because then a week from Tuesday, the veterans will be out on the field. The whole team will be together going through phase three of OTAs. If you're not excited right now, I don't know what to tell you because this is going to be incredible. Now, the Dallas Cowboys, love them or hate them, have actually been going through and learning a lot of things. They're learning how to be a better run organization. They're learning to put people who know what they're doing in positions to succeed. You can't argue with what Will McClay has done as far as scouting and working with the coaches to find out the type of players that they want to fit the system. Um, Getting a guy like Rod Marnelli, who before he was doing the whole defense, now concentrating on that defensive line, where it is really his specialty. And I call him the defensive line whisperer because it seems like he's always got that defensive line. You got Chris Richard, of course. They're yin and yang. But Chris Richard with that back end, working with those cornerbacks and safeties and seeing that level come up. You're seeing Marco Colombo, who has gotten the offensive line back into shape, getting rid of Scott Linehan, and we'll see how that works with Kellen Moore. But you can see how the team is evolving. You're seeing Stephen Jones taking over more roles that Jerry Jones used to take. And, Stephen Jones, he's a hard businessman. He's going to drive it home. He's the bad cop. And, of course, Jerry Jones, the face of the franchise, who can be the one to kind of put things out there, to be the great friend and the face of the franchise and stuff. And Jason Garrett, well, we'll find out about Jason Garrett. But they're learning about mistakes in the past. When the season was over, the Dallas Cowboys looked and they dissected and they said, "Why are the reasons we failed this year? And what are the positions that we need to upgrade?" They say, we need backups at running back. We need a tight end. We need to add defensive line help. We need safeties. And you can see from free agency, they tried to address each of those holes um, methodically. And then through the draft, they went through and took care of each of those holes. We'll find out if the pieces that they put will succeed. But you can't argue with what they did. They said, you can look at the failures of the past few years. Aaron Rodgers always ends up having too much time and ends up beating us with a comeback drive. So they've addressed the defensive line. 2017, we didn't have backups when you lost to Sean Lee or you lost to Tyron Smith or Zeke Elliott. So now you've got backups on both sides of those balls. And when it comes to rookies, here's what they've learned. They've learned you've got to make an immediate impact with your rookie class. You can look at that in 2016 when Tony Romo got hurt. You can look at that after, when we got Zeke Elliott, when you started seeing Anthony, uh, Brown end up playing valuable time at cornerback, and Malik Collins. Part of the reason we were successful, and of course Dak, part of the reason we were successful was because our rookie class came in, immediate starters, immediate impact. 2017, that didn't happen. Not until later on in the season, because a lot of the guys were injured in training camp. Ryan Switzer was dealing with a hamstring. Antoine Woods, Owuze, all of them had hamstring pulls. Taco, well, I, I, Taco, I don't know. But we didn't get that bump that little extra from the rookie class, and we fell a little short. Last year's class, we got an impact. We got a push from those guys. Connor Williams started almost every game. Van Der Esch, incredible Pro Bowler. So we got that and we need that this year. But what happened is, mainly in 2017, because not all the players were fantastic, but you can look at them and say, okay, uh, you know, Antoine Woods, excuse me, not Antoine, Xavier Woods is on the verge of being a really good safety. You look at Owuzie, he's kind of getting there. We'll see what happens. He's had ups and downs. Um, you can see those guys are beginning to come on. Byron Jones, um, to come on now and become valuable members. They weren't bad picks. They just did not be able to get started that rookie year, and that was mainly because of injuries. And when you understand, or when you look at it and think about it this way, our Cowboys have been off since the playoffs in January. They haven't really started kicking in and doing work. So they've had time to recover. They've had time to have surgeries and things like that. College football players, though, if you're one that has aspirations of being in the NFL, there is no offseason between being a rookie and becoming a professional football player. Because immediately when you're done playing football, bowl games, and some of these guys are playing after New Year's, you then start training for the combine. And let me equate this to something everybody will understand: the SATs. You begin training for the SATs to take that test. Think about all the math equations that we ended up learning to make sure we were ready for the SATs that we never did again in life. You didn't necessarily were any smarter when you raised your score. It was just you were ready to take that test. And that's what college athletes do. They don't stop playing bowl games and say, okay, I'm done, and then just show up for the combine. They are training for that 40. They're training for that shuttle run. They're training for, the 225-pound lifts, the vertical leap. They are trimming their bodies to make sure that they are the perfect weight and things, that they are ready for this test. Because this is the biggest test they will take in their lives. So they're pushing it every single day. So they go through the combine. And basically, after the combine, you've got pro days. And you're going on visits. You're working out for guys. There is no off season. You get drafted, and within 2 weeks, you're in a mini camp. And when you get there, you're looking at all the guys that you're playing. You're trying to put on weight. You're trying to get faster. You're trying to learn all this stuff. Your body has not rested. And the Cowboys in 2017 had a rash of hamstring pulls. In 2018, they learned. Let's slow it down for rookie minicamp. Let's make this a teaching moment. Let's teach them the playbook. Let's do more walkthroughs. Let's let their bodies get used to working out. It's kind of like Camp Cupcake, but it paid dividends in 2018. Hopefully, it'll pay dividends in 2019 because they want to get everybody to the beginning of the season healthy. Now, I'm excited about these guys because we need a couple of these guys to take on some roles. Tristan Hill, that's the guy I have been talking about for years. Not him in particular, but that defensive tackle, that Leon Lett, that Russell Maryland, that Randy White, that immovable force up there that runs like his hair's on fire when he pass rushes. That big body, 6'2", 308 pounds. That guy that was relentless. That guy that punches you in the nose and is looking for a quarterback to kill. Love it. Another stud offensive lineman. And I know Vosh is happy out there. We got that defensive tackle because we drafted pretty much as Vosh said. So maybe the Dallas Cowboys are listening to him. But you've got yourself another stud offensive lineman who is going to be battling out. There's going to be an odd man out. It's going to be, I think, Xavier Salafalo or Lyle Collins. It's going to be interesting how well he progresses because Connor Williams is looking like the Blue Hulk and may be out at tackle. And then, of course, now we've got a third down back and a guy who can help spell Zeke Elliott a little bit and Tony Pollard. Now, I was saying that the Dallas Cowboys are learning to be a better organization. And it's interesting the way they treat players. Understand, football is it's a mother of a business to be in. You can never ever get comfortable. It doesn't matter who you are. I remember about a friend Ainsley was telling me about in Jacksonville how they have cameras and microphones throughout the locker room because they want to know what players are thinking and saying and things like that. And they literally go through and manage every aspect of your life. And it's so cold, and this is the side that we don't think about. Oh, yeah, I want to be a professional football player. But I remember Ainsley telling me about this guy who was brought in, cut, brought in, cut, like 6 or 7 times during the season. And, there is not necessarily any stability. I think about Demario Davis, friend of mine, who drafted by the Jets, ended up going to Cleveland one year, going back to the Jets for another year, then goes to New Orleans. And he's a top player. So it's hard. This is offensive lineman of the Raiders, how they found out about Amari Cooper being traded.
There's a track record. Amari, was that, what week was that?
That was in the middle. Like I felt like that was pretty deep in the season. Like in the middle of the season, I don't remember what week, but it was in the season to the point where it was just like, wow.
And you're where when
Like
that
you
news,
couldn't even
you're not working out of
believe
church
it.
for that, are you?
No, we're on the field at practice. Like we're literally already had been through most of like grinding.
Wow.
You know what I mean? And then like they get their little, I don't even know dude's names, like I don't know, some guy, whatever,
Yeah.
grabs them.
The Turk comes for
And
you.
we're sitting there like, nah. Like it was like so unbelievable. It would have been like if an alien landed on the field and was like, hey, what's up, fool? Like I'm from Czechoslovakia, whatever.
Yeah.
You're like, yo, that's an alien. It was like that. Like people were just shocked. Like, what the hell is going on right now?
How did it spread? Did they call around the team and say this just
They
happened?
didn't say anything. Like literally, you just like turned around and saw it. You
Wait.
just turned around and saw it. You're just like, what?
Oh, so you just see him come off the field, but you don't know why he's coming off the field.
No, you know because this guy is the guy that always cuts people, or like it's
Oh,
always
the
bad
Turk.
when you see this guy. You know it's not good.
And you're like, so you guys are like, they didn't cut him. Like, what the hell?
You
just
know because he's a baller. You know they didn't just cut him. Like he's a baller. You know that he's gonna
Wow.
ball.
So
Like,
was the team just deflated after that?
that for sure was like the dagger. Like a few times it was like some situations where it was just like, you're on the field and certain things are getting called or whatever, and you have no control of that,
Yeah.
and you're just like, do they care or whatever? And it's like we're working so hard, and and the pain and all that, people playing through injuries, and you're like, what are we doing?
Right.
But then that was probably like the dagger where it was just like,
Wow. So the whole team after that moment, you could feel it weeks
you
to
could
come.
feel it. Like people
Yeah.
were like talking about it in the locker room, like, yo, like I guess they like really like rebuilding. Like you just like knew at
Yeah.
that point.
Wow. Well, I must say their loss was our hellacious gain, and thank God we got Amari Cooper. Whew. All right, guys. Any news on the Dallas Cowboys? Be sure to come right here because we'll be bringing it to you, of course, on a hour by hour, day by day, anytime it breaks cycle. I'm Mark Holmes, and I hope to see you guys here tonight on the Jobu Sports Reports live stream at 9 o'clock Eastern. See you soon.